Hey, brothers and sisters. Right now, they're talking about these drones, and I know you guys have been watching this, but there's something bigger to it than that. These drones are flying over military bases, over our all of our infrastructure across the United States. And here's the thing, my daughter is a drone pilot. She has a drone pilot's license. She got paid professionally to fly drones. You cannot operate a drone anywhere in the United States unless it connects to the internet and it gives approval for the electronics to work. That is the problem. These people are lying. Go to the FAA regulations. You have to be a registered pilot to fly one that is the size that they're flying. It's only 250 grams is the cutoff, where you don't have to have a pilot's license. The United States government, the same thing that's happening right now was happening with these balloons from China flying over our nuclear bases, taking data, collecting data, and Biden said, oh, there's no threat. We don't know what it is. We can't understand. Well, why don't you shoot it down? They don't do anything. They just wait and wait. These things are flying over places where there are infrastructure like bridges and power plants and our water supply. And these aren't small drones. These are very large drones. And so most people can't buy them. These are the size like if you owned a farm and you had one and you were spraying your crops with it. That's what kind of drone these are. They're giant. They're big. Some people are saying they're as big as cars. I don't know. I know how witnesses are. People make mistakes. They're very large. They're not a small drone that somebody flies for recreation. So here's the thing. Joe Biden once again is lying, and then he gave the Iranians $10 billion. He released this money. Just before he leaves office, he gives the Iranians $10 billion. Do you realize how much $10 billion is? Imagine 1,000 stacks of $1 million, and then there's 10 of those 1,000 stacks of $1 million. That's how much money he released to them to use against the world. These are the leading exporter of terrorism. This is what I think's going on. The Chinese could be surveilling us just like they did with those balloons because they're getting ready to attack the United States. The Coast Guard said that these things were coming from the ocean. There's only one way that those drones could come from the ocean, and that is if those drones came out of a boat or a submarine. These things are large, okay? And they're saying the governor of the state and also the mayor of this one city, he personally counted 50 of them. The police officers are talking about this. This is the important thing. People aren't getting excited about this because it's not being reported on the news like it should be. Okay, each one of those drones has to have a personal operator. So say you have 500 of these operating in the nighttime, you got to have 500 people operating them. And remember how we found out that there are at least 30,000 military-age Chinese people, men in this country. Listen to what's going on. Maybe they are operating these drones. Who knows what's going on? China is very sneaky. They could bring these drones in crates on the back of ships. They could come in underneath the water in a crate under the water as a ship comes in. The Russians have done this before. They've infiltrated our country back in the 80s and 90s by having a ship underneath a cargo ship, and then it detached, and then men came out of that submarine that detached. This is important. We've got this guy that murdered this healthcare guy over the problems in healthcare, and they're not even talking about the real motive. His motive was pain. They damaged his back, and then his insurance isn't covering his back being in pain every day. And these guys are talking, well, it's about choice, and it's about this, and it's about that. And I'm not advocating anybody kill anybody, but what I'm saying is George Washington was the killer. Franklin was the killer. All those signers of the Constitution killed the British. They murdered people. And this guy was in so much pain that evidently he decided he was going to take things into his own hands. And nobody's talking about the pain issue. And these doctors, when they have you and you're in pain or you need help, and they just deny through the insurance, it's horrific. I get pain medication because my knee is shot. And they'll do that to me. They'll make you wait, and you'll be 6 days without any pain medication. Or you have to go to the pharmacy numerous times, and they aggravate you, and they aggravate you, and they just go, tough luck. Where else are you going to get your pain meds? Go find somebody else, and you'll be shut off for a whole month while you're switching over. This is horrible. People are torturing people in this country. This is not the United States of America that I grew up in. Something has happened. There's what he had in his back. In his back. Lower back. That's his buttocks, I think, back there. And that's the curvature of his spine. Or it's... The guy's in constant pain. They're just now saying it. And they've known these things beforehand. There needs to be you see what happened was, especially with pain medications and things like that, Donald Trump, when he became president, somebody died of oxycodone or fentanyl, so then he clamped down on all of this. And before he became president, it was even getting that way. And then you had to have a pain doctor. No matter how much you took, it was a federally regulated thing, so now you can't get it without going to a specialized doctor, and then that specialized doctor is piled up with people. And there are some people that don't need pain medication, but there are other ones that need it. And imagine if you had a heart condition and you had to have your medicine for it, or you died, or you felt sick and you couldn't do anything. And they go, well, we're going to deny you that. This whole country, something is wrong with the heart of America. And I don't care what these guys think or say that believe, oh, Donald Trump is going to come and save America. You can't even talk to the guy. You can't even get a message to him. Try sometime. I got on Truth Social, which is his account. He owns it, and on his personal name, and I warned him about the dream that I had about him being shot in that tent. And then I also went to his campaign website and warned him there, and they never even contacted me or said a thing. They probably thought, well, this is a crazy guy talking nonsense. But I warned him. I said, I saw you and you were shot in this tent. Please take all precautions necessary. Like wear a vest or something. Like on Back to the Future. I don't know if it helped or not. But here's the thing. Look, the Lord has shown me that China and Russia are going to attack America. And something is going on with North Korea and also Iran in this whole thing when it happens. It's a sneak attack. The Lord told me that it would start because of Kursk. And what I saw was a submarine on the beach, and it opened the doors and fired nuclear missiles. And the Lord said in this dream, this is back in 2012, the Lord said, this is the Kursk. It is the name of a submarine, and it is also the name of a city, and it is the reason that Russia will attack the United States of America. And if you follow the news, you know that the Ukrainians are firing ATACMS and Storm Shadow missiles into Kursk, and they've taken part of Russia away from the Russians. Their home, their country, they've taken it back from them. So, Crimea has also been attacked, and the Russians have fled there. And now they're fleeing from Syria. And the United States sent A-10 attack planes, and they blasted these guys in Syria. And then the Israelis bombed the entire Syrian Navy into obliteration, and then bombed their air bases. And we got this squinty-eyed wacko that is no longer president that sits at the beach or whatever, and then he's allowing the Iranians who are trying to build nuclear weapons to have $10 billion, and nobody is upset. I don't understand this, brothers and sisters. These people are going to let them attack us. The Russians, Putin the news, they poo-poo it and they say, well, he's always talking about nuclear attacks. He's always saying that. Belarus has nuclear weapons. They're talking about attacking the United States and NATO. They have numerous weapons. People think they're going to they can't shoot all those down. If they fired 50 of them at us, some of that 50 are going to allow, those multiple reentry warheads are going to actually strike cities in the United States. And what I saw was a limited nuclear war. And the United States is taken down a notch. China's taken down a notch. Russia's taken down a notch. And then the Antichrist takes over and he rules the world from Israel, not from the United States. There's going to be a worldwide revival then, because the rapture happens at the same time as this EMP and attack against the United States. So there'll be a revival, a great revival. Come on in. Come on in, Abby. It's cold out. Look at that. It's cold here. Let's see. How is it? It's like